Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. Ārādhayo bhagavan vrajeshatanayas tadhāma vrindavanam ramya kāchitupāsana vrajavadhu vargena va kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamamalam prema pumartho mahan. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu matamidam Tatradarana Paraha. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth Srimad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9 is complete, right? We completed all the verses. We did complete all the verses. Small chapter, 23 verses we completed. And the most auspicious month, the Damodar month, is coming from Sunday onwards. At some places it's even celebrated from Ekadashi onward, which happens to be today. So, and in some wonderful devotees celebrated every day of the year. And there is absolutely full permission to do so by offering tulasi to Krishna, lamp to Krishna, remembering Lord Damodar or Krishna's childhood playful pastimes. So who is stopping us from doing that? There is full permission. So thank you for your kind association. I see two new names on the Zoom. Chanda Purvanan and
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's Devaki Mataji, sorry Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Devaki Mataji. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And to all the devotees, Lakshay Prabhu, Upendra Prabhu, Ekant Prabhu, and Shripa Mataji, Shri Prabhu, Vipul Prabhu, and Mataji for joining. So let's begin. Chapter 10, entitled The Deliverance of Yamalarjuna Trees. In the previous chapter, Sri Shukadev Goswami has given some hint of this, that these were the sons of Kubera, very opulent, and we reflected upon that point. So, but in this chapter, we will go in a little bit more detail. So let's start with the summary. Maybe one of you can read this summary. Anyone feeling inspired to?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
I can read.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Chapter 10, the deliverance of the Yamala Arjuna trees. This chapter describes how Krishna broke the twin Arjuna trees from which Nalakubera and Manigriva, the sons of Kubera, they came out. Nalakubera and Manigriva were great devotees of Lord Shiva, but because of material affluence, they became so extravagant and senseless that one day they were enjoying with naked girls in a lake and shamelessly walking here and there. Suddenly Narad Muni passed by, but they were so maddened by their wealth and false prestige that even though they saw Narad Muni present, they remained naked and were not even ashamed. In other words, because of opulence and false prestige, they lost their sense of common decency. Of course, It is the nature of the material qualities that when one becomes very much opulent in terms of wealth and a prestigious position, one loses one loses one's sense of etiquette and does not care about anyone, even a sage like Narad Muni. For such bewildered persons, ahankara, bhimudapma, who especially deride devotees, the proper punishment is to be again stricken with poverty. The Vedic rules and regulations prescribe how to control the false sense of prestige by the practice of yama, niyama, and so on. Tapasya brahmacharyena, samena cha dhimanescha. A poor man can be convinced very easily that the prestige of an opulent position in this material world is temporary, but a rich man cannot. Therefore, Narad Muni set an example by crushing these two persons, Nalakubera and Manigriva, to become dull and unconscious like trees. This was a fit punishment, but because Krishna is always merciful, even though they were punished, they were fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Therefore, the punishment given by Vaishnavas is not at all punishment. Rather, it is another kind of mercy. By the course of the Devarsi, Nalakubera and Manigriva became twin Arjuna trees and remained in the courtyard of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, waiting for the opportunities to see Krishna directly. Lord Krishna, by the desire of his devotee, uprooted these Yamala Arjuna trees, and when Nalakubera and Manigriva were thus delivered by Krishna after 100 years of the Devas, 100 years of Devas, their old consciousness revived and they offered Krishna prayers suitably to be offered by demigods. Having thus gotten the opportunity to see Krishna face to face, they understood how merciful Narad Muni was, and therefore they expressed their indebtedness to him and thanked him. Then after circumambulating the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, they departed for their respective abodes. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Krishna, thank you so much, Upendra Prabhu, for reading this wonderful summary of this chapter. So this is a very, very sweet chapter, and the main hero of this is of course, our dear Krishna and the two brothers, Nalakubera and Manigriva. So just to give a brief background, Krishna has been bound by Mata Yashoda, and through the ropes of love, and that's basically the previous chapter which we discussed in great length in the last many weeks. But now Mata Yashoda has bound Krishna, and because his one very sweet pastime, because Krishna, when this conversation was going on, Mata said, hey, you are feeding monkeys, you are feeding butter to monkeys, you are acting like monkeys. And then Krishna would say, well, maybe I got it from my mother's side. And then like that, so Krishna, and like this chastisement is going on, this transcendental chastisement. And then finally Krishna said, okay, I'm a monkey, you say I'm acting like monkey, I'll go to the forest and just be with the monkeys. And then Mata Yashoda got concerned that this 3-year-old boy, he was about 3 years old in this whole pastime. And then she got concerned out of love. Then she said, okay, I need to do something so that he does not run here and there. He gave me a hard time. Now he has been bound by the ukhala, the grinding motor, which he used accomplice as a to feed the monkeys, to get the butter from which was hanging on the top. So finally, Mata Yashoda, with a lot of endeavor and Krishna's mercy, that all has been well covered. But now she kind of is busy in her household chores because she was doing a lot of preparation, right? You remember how this whole thing began? Ekada grihadasishu. She was busy churning butter, preparing for the next day festival. It was the day of Deepavali. A lot of things need to be done. So she had work, and this naughty child gave her a hard time. So now she goes back to her work. And then Krishna sees these trees and does his wonderful pastime. So that's what we're going to read in this wonderful chapter. So let's begin. Text 1, if someone would like to read this. Anyone? Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Because Shilpa Mataji, raise your hand, and the next one, Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Śrī Raja Uvacha Katyatam Bhagavan Etathayo Sapasya Karanam Yattad Vigarhitam Karma Enava Devarses Tamah. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, O great and powerful saint, what was the cause of Nalakuvaras and Manigrivas having been cursed by Narada Muni? What did they do that was so abominable that even Narada, the great sage, became angry at them? Kindly describe this to me. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhu. It is straightforward, I think, inquiring about to Narada Muni on what is exactly the curse and what did they do. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhu. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So their names have already come in the previous chapter, and that's how the chapter ended. And in so many instances in Bhagavatam, we see that Shukdev Goswami just shares like in one line or two lines. But it is the inquisitiveness of the disciple, of the student, of the one who is hearing Bhagavatam, which helps to bring out the nectar from the spiritual master. If it was not for the question of Shukdev, Parikshit Maharaj, who is addressed here as Śrī Raja Uvacha, he is the one who is asking the question. Actually, in the previous chapter, last few verses, it is already mentioned that Krishna, while Mata was busy in the household affairs, Krishna observed the tree who were Nal, Kubera, and Manigriva in the previous lives, and they were puffed up with pride, and that's how Krishna was observing them. So that's how the chapter ended. But look at how we can learn some qualities or try to follow in the footsteps and try to absorb in some of the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. Number one, how attentively he is hearing. He has not eaten, slept, or done anything but Shravanam from the last about 4+ days, right? Out of the 7 days, in 12 cantos of Srimad-Bhāgavatam, right? Right now, almost 60% is complete, approximately. Not by the number of cantos, but approximately by the number of content. So 60-70% Bhagavatam is complete. So basically, about at least 4 days are done, right? But he has not taken anything, no eating, no sleeping. But why? He is just relishing the Bhagavatam and absorbed. But still, he's not just barely hearing it, right? Sometimes we could be awake, but somehow waiting, okay, get it over. But he's very inquisitive and eagerly asking genuine questions. What happened? Who were these people? And why did Tayo Shapasya Karanam? Ki Shap ka Karan kya tha? Shap means curse, right? And what was the offense? What was the offense? Like generally, even if there's an offense, Yenava Devarshiristamaha. Even the great sages are not supposed to get generally angry, right? Amanina manadena. So many like verses are there. Trividham narakasya dvam. They don't get angry on small things, right? And in the just we read, even if they get angry, great souls. What was the line Prabhupada said? Anyone remembers? We just read without seeing your books or slides or screen. Can anyone tell? What did Prabhupada use about the anger of great souls or something in that context?
Can be used to protect dharma or for our devotees, Gurudev. That anger can be used, dovetailed. Like Hanumanji protected or burned the whole Lanka through his anger by fire.
Very nice. To protect Vaishnavas, to protect spiritual master, dharma, etc. The specific statement Prabhupada is mentioning, the punishment given by Vaishnavas is not at all a punishment. So Shapa basically means punishment or curse. Rather, it is another kind of mercy. Rather, it's kind of a blessing. Mercy, blessing. So Shukdev Goswami is being asked by Parikshit Maharaj that what was that thing which provoked Narad Muni to give such an heavy, like you become a tree, basically that's what happened. They became the tree by the curse of Narad Muni. So the question is, what was that severe thing which they did wrong, or the mistake they did? Kindly describe this to me in great detail. Kindly tell this to me. So let's hear any other thoughts before we move to the next one? Any comments, additions? Okay, let's read the next verse and see what Srila Shukdev Goswami replies. Yes, Sukant, Prabhu, we can do.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa, everyone. Śrī Śruka Uvacha Rudrasyanucharo Bhutva Sudraptau Dhanādatmanujau Kailash Sopavane Ramye Mandakinyam Madotvaktau Varunim Madiram Pitva Mada Gruhanita Lochano Stirjanir Anugyadibis Charatu Puspiti Vane. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, because the two sons of Kubera had been elevated to the association of Lord Shiva, of which they were very much proud, they were allowed to wander in the gardens attached to Kailash hill on the banks of Mandakini river. Taking advantage of this, they used to drink a kind of liquor called Varuni, accompanied by women singing after them. They would wander in the gardens of flowers, their eyes always rolling in intoxication. Purport. This verse mentions some of the material advantages afforded to the persons associated with or devoted to Lord Shiva. Apart from Lord Shiva, if one is one is a devotee of any other demigod, one receives some material advantages. Foolish people therefore become devotees of demigod. This has been pointed out and criticized by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 7 chapter 20th verse. Kamaista tasair tair hrita jnanana prapadyantenya devata. Those who are not devotees of Krishna taste of women, wine, and so forth, and therefore have been described as Hritagnyana, bereft of sense. The Krishna conscious movement can very easily point out such foolish persons, for they have been indicated in Bhagavad Gita 7:15, where Lord Krishna says, Namam dushkritano mudaha prapadyante naradhaman maha mayaya prahatta jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Anyone who is not a devotee of Krishna and does not surrender to Krishna must be considered Naradhama, the lowest of men, and Dushkriti, one who always commits sinful activities. Thus, there is no difficulty in finding out who is a third caste or fourth class man, for one's position can be understood simply by this crucial test. Is he or is he not a devotee of Krishna? Why are devotees of the demigods greater in number than Vaishnavas? The answer is given herein. Vaishnavas are not interested in such fourth-class pleasures as wine and women, nor does Krishna allow them such facilities. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any thoughts, comments you have?
Prabhuji, it's very deep, Prabhuji. I understood a little bit. One thing which last, which is really struck me, Prabhuji, which is that why devotees of demigods are greater in number than Vaishnavas. And it's like, I feel like sometimes, of course, there are so many points before, Prabhuji, please explain those. One thing which this is something that I got stuck, which is like, there are so many things to enjoy in the life, enjoy in the material world, but those are like, we try to use them, or at least we are looking to use them for Krishna's purpose, rather than we enjoy them and see like, okay, we want to take advantage of it all the time. And that really struck me, Prabhuji. And there are, one of the other example is like, doing offering prasadam every day is one such thing which I always remember, Prabhuji. We can, as soon as we see food, we can definitely jump on it and eat. But first thing what we have to remember when we see food is, did we offer to Govinda before we honor it. So that is one of the quality which I always remember, Guruji. Something which I want to share. Thank you, Prabhuji. Please explain more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A lot of wonderful lessons from these two verses. So let's go a little bit deeper in these verses, these two verses. Rudra, Rudrasya means they were the Anuchara. Anuchara means those who follow him. In short, they were associates or devotees. And because of their position, they were, what was their position? Very, very good position. So, Dripto, what was the position? So, let's like kind of write the good fortune they had received. Can anyone share some points?
सुंदर रूप और रंग प्रभु जी लिखा हुआ है, उससे वो प्राउडेड फील करते थे अपने आप को अपने रूप से.
Okay, so we can say like bodily features. So bodily, so good, or say excellent bodily features and beauty, right?
Yeah, beauty. Birth in the higher planetary systems, that's a...
Yes. And what's the word used? Dhanada Atmajau. Dhana ko deta kaun hai? Dhanada. And that's basically Kubera, the treasurer of demigods. So Dhanada Atmajau. So they were children of Kubera. So in short, high birth. Very, very high birth in a very, very aristocratic family. Is it not? What else?
एक पूरी शिव जी के भक्त होने की वजह से उन्हें जो कैलाश पर्वत है उसके बगल में जो बाग था वहां पे उन्हें घूमने की मतलब परमिशन थी. ये भी उनके लिए एक प्राउडली मूवमेंट था.
Yes.
Freedom.
So basically, devotees of Lord Shiva.
Prabhu, what is the question again, Prabhu? If you could please repeat.
The question is that we're just trying to understand the situation of Nalkuvira and Manigriva. And then we'll analyze that how these things either are helpful in bhakti or they are detrimental in bhakti. So in this verse, what all things have been shared about Nalkuvira and Manigriva? This is basically like setting the scene they were in. Who were there as their parent? What about their beauty? What they were doing? So we're just trying to dissect the verse. So they were devotees of, in short, Lord Shiva. And what more is mentioned about the situation? Anyone else want to try? Yeah.
Just spending time leisurely, like they don't have anything to do, so just time pass.
Freedom.
Freedom. Yeah, more freedom.
Freedom.
I think they're drinking and
yes.
saying words on women, right? So
I think we covered a lot of topics. I want to dissect those. So intoxicated with Varuni, right? So that's another situation given. And then what else?
Near Mandakini River, Kailash, near Kailash.
Yeah, so basically the place was also very opulent. Nice gardens, rivers, Kailash, near Kailash. It's a very opulent place. And who was around them?
And like Apsaras.
Yeah, so the heavenly damsels were there around. What's mentioned? Strī Janahi. They were intoxicated, their eyes were rolling, and in association of opposite sex, in this case basically women, who were singing after them, and What else? Did we miss anything important? So the place is mentioned. What they were doing is mentioned. What they were drinking, alcohol, or I mean, the kind of celestial beverage, liquor, intoxication. And very, very important, their mindset. So the mindset was very, very proud, very, very proud. Mandakini, mand takau. So proud, right? Oh, we are the great sons of Kubera. We are the friends of Lord Shiva. We are so beautiful. We are great. We can buy Varuni whatever quantity we want to buy, right? We have the rights to be in this garden of Lord Shiva attached to the Kailash, on the Kailash hill, near on the banks of Mandakini river. So all these things, when we feel a sense of entitlement, when we feel a sense of, oh, I am special, oh, I have beauty, or I have wealth, or I have special connection to Shiva, I have high birth, then what comes next is what we will see in the next verse. But this verse basically is telling that they were very, very proud, and all these things. Varunim. So now let's go back to the verse. We kind of covered all the points, but let's go back. So Varunim madrim pitva. They were intoxicated with this celestial beverage, which had madag gurnita lochanau. Lochan is eyes. Their eyes were, because of the mada means intoxication, their eyes were rolling. Strī janai, we discussed that, association of women. Anu gayadbhi, garayate, they were singing songs. Cheritau, wandered. Pushpita vani, in the nice flower garden. So wandering aimlessly also, like time pass, as Mataji said. Time pass kar rahe the. With no particular purpose, right? Just wasting time, in short. Now, it's basically kind of a recipe for disaster, right? Even in, if let's say we are in this situation, right? It's basically we are kind of inviting a disaster. Is it not? Right? So let's see what was that disaster. But a few important points in the purport, let's cover those. Prabhupada is basically sharing in this purport about demigod worship versus Krishna consciousness, or worship of Krishna. Anyone who is not a devotee of Krishna and does not surrender to Krishna must be considered Naradhama. That's a very heavy statement, but that's what scriptures are. Guru is heavy. Guru means heavy. So basically what Prabhupada is saying here, that there is no difficulty. I'll just open the purport so you can see that I'm just reading as it is from the purport. There is no difficulty in finding out who is a third class or fourth class man or person, for one's position is to be simply understood by this crucial test, whether he's a devotee or not of Krishna. So in short, if he's a devotee of Krishna, he's first class. If he's not, or she's not, then they are Nar Adhama. Nar means human, Adhama means lowest. And Ekant Prabhu already highlighted this point, that yes, most people want material wealth, opulence, and therefore they approach demigods. But what do we see here? That Kubera and Manigriva were also devotees of Lord Shiva. But that resulted, and then we'll see, all of you know this pastimes, so there's no suspense here, that resulted in pride. So sometimes, this is an important point one of the devotees was sharing, that we may have connection with a special person, let's say spiritual master, let's say a senior Vaishnava, let's say, someone special. That itself may lead to pride. That person may be very humble. But, oh, I know that devotee. Oh, I know that person. Oh, I have his contact. That may lead to pride. So that's what exactly happened. Lord Shiva is the Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He is not proud about his position. He is not proud I live in Kailash. He is not proud. Here it's mentioned, you look at let's go a little bit more. The glory of the garden they were in is mentioned by addressing Kailash. Oh, it's like, for example, if someone lives next to the neighbor of the in the neighborhood of a celebrity, what will they say? Oh, I live next to I don't want to put any names here, but you got the point. That my home is next to so and so film star, or so and so cricket star, or so and so basketball star, or soccer star, whatever, So it's not the glory of their home, but they'll say, oh, I live next door to. So that it shows that how great Lord Shiva is. That the reference of that place is given, that garden, that wonderful garden, they were allowed to wander because they were kind of associates. They were Rudrasya Anuchara. That's a word used. They were the Anuchara, they were followers. Okay, Lord Shiva must have given the permission. Okay, you can wander in this garden. Lord Shiva is so humble. But these people got proud. These people got puffed up. So, therefore, in ISKCON, and as you see here, all the 4 regulative principles are kind of broken. Is it not? Pretty much. Right? They are wandering with the opposite sex with no purpose. Right? It's a recipe for disaster. They are intoxicated. Right? They are having a so-called gala time with no particular purpose. And of course, they are proud also. So, therefore, Srila Prabhupada has given these, and Bhagavatam has given these regulative principles. These are regulative principles for human beings. They don't make anyone a devotee. They bring us to the human platform so that we can advance in Krishna consciousness nicely and be humble. So let's see what happens. I think Sudhir Prabhu or Rama Prabhu wants to read. So let's read this 4th verse.
Antya pravishya ganagyam ambojavanarachni chitakrudatur yuva atibir gaja eva karen buhi. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Within the waters of Mandakani Ganges, which are crowded with gardens of lotus flowers, the 2 sons of Kubera would enjoy with their young girls, just like 2 male elephants enjoying with the water with the female elephants. Purport. People generally go to the Ganges to be purified of the effects of sinful life. But here it is an example how foolish persons enter the Ganges to become involved in sinful life. It is not everyone becomes purified by entering the Ganges. Everything spiritual and material depends on one's mental condition. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you, Patri.
Thank you so much, Rama Prabhu, for so nicely reading like a scholar. So here more details are mentioned about Kubera and Manigriva. And this, what were they doing? Within the waters of Anta Pravishya. Anta means under. Pravishya, they entered. Where did they enter? Gangayam. Gangayam. In the Mandakini Ganga. In the upper planetary systems, Ganga Devi is also called Mandakini Ganga. Ambhoja Vana Rajini. So Ambhoja means lotus. Vana Rajini. Vana is forest, and so basically they were, whenever we talk about, mad, we always give this example. Shastras give mad elephant, right? Because when elephant is mattaha, is uncontrollable passion. And therefore they say never, get in the way of a mad elephant, right? They can't control themselves. They lose all their sense because the matta, the passion, is so much that whatever comes in their way, they will just trample over it. So here, Prabhupada is giving a very, very nice point, because a lot of people have this, oh, let's do Ganga Snan and we'll be purified. Prabhupada is giving very, very clear. It is not that everyone becomes purified just by entering Ganges. Just by entering Ganges, one does not become purified. How does one get purified? Everything spiritual and material depends on one's mental condition. In short, one's consciousness. What is in one's heart? What is one thinking? Even one is in Ganga, but thinking about women. Even as one is in Ganga and having intoxication. Yes, actually recently there was a video. There were some people who went to Ganga and then sitting there, they're drinking beer and alcohol in the Ganga water, right? So one just going to Ganga will not do anything. Prabhupada is very, very clearly mentioning. So what's one's mental state? That will make a difference. And having wrong association, being intoxicated, eyes are rolling, one will even lose the importance because of pride. They lost the knowledge that, oh, we are at Ganga. At least, a sensible person, even if they have to do certain things which are not so appropriate, like drinking alcohol or drinking this varuni, or they should not pick us a holy place, right? Like, for example, if one has to gamble, one will not go to the ghat of Ganga and, okay, let's drink alcohol and gamble at the ghat of. They'll maybe go to a bar, or they'll go to some, place in the mode of ignorance. These holy places are in the mode of goodness or pure goodness at times, depends on what consciousness we enter in. So, but still, because of being proud, pride basically makes one fall down. We discussed in the previous sessions also. They were feeling so entitled, they were feeling so proud. And it's not about they. We're not talking about Nalkur and Manigriva. It's our story. It's our story, because pride is very, very disastrous for spiritual life. And therefore Lord Chaitanya and all our acharyas mention this again and again. Trinadapi samichena, taroriva sahishnana. To be more humble than a blade of grass. Pride can come in anything. Pride can come in bhakti also. Oh, I get up early. Oh, I chant better than him. Oh, I give better classes. Oh, I know more verses. Oh, I am better cook than him or her. Or I have a better job, or I have a better house, or I have better cars. Anything, pride can come in. Even like this one, Radhanath Maharaj says that even a beggar can be proud of his torn blanket. That my blanket has 2 holes and your blanket has 5 holes, so my blanket is better than yours. Mm. So pride is disastrous, and we will see that disaster. It's just like setting the scene for disaster. Right now, everything seems to be fine, and this is what basically prayas is about. Short-term so-called pleasure, but how much time they had to be in the tree body? Anyone recalls from the summary we read?
100 years.
100 demigod years.
100 celestial or demigod years. That's equivalent to
12,000 years.
12,000 earthly years. Yeah.
Maybe because our one day is our 6 months is their one day, and our 6 months is their night.
So their one day is one.
36,500 then probably. So 36,500 or 36. No.
Their
360
one
days
day
is
is
considered. Yeah, 360 days is considered one Vedic year. So 36,500 years.
So thousands of years, in short. Okay, thousands and thousands of years they were in that. And that's what Shreyas and Prayas is all about. So Prayas means, okay, short-term so-called sense gratification and long-term suffering. Of course, they did not suffer because Narad Muni kind of gave them a curse and a blessing in a disguise. They were witnessing the pastimes of Krishna. They were in Rajdham. But the lesson is important, that one should not compromise. One should not take short-term gains for long-term pains. Rather, one should be regulated. One should have a controlled lifestyle and choose one's association carefully. Choose the mind state, the mental state carefully. Choose what we eat, what we drink carefully. Otherwise, you will end up in association is very impactful. One time, Prabhupada, there was a rock concert, and the association was very, very passionate. The environment was very, very passionate. People smoking, drinking, loose clothes and stuff like that. Prabhupada said, this is no place for a brahmachari. It's quite natural that if you're in the wrong environment, we will be tempted for wrong things, right? If all our friend circle is, let's say, they are smokers and drunkards, it's just a matter of time we will start doing those things. And on the positive side also, if all our friends are devotees who are sincerely trying to practice bhakti, it's just a matter of time that we will also grow in our Krishna consciousness. So these are some points which we covered today. Any more thoughts, comments anyone has before we wrap up for today? Anything you want to add or subtract? Anything struck you from these 4 verses we read today? Okay. Okay, then, well, have a nice rest of your day or good night. And someone was saying something. ग्रंथराज Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam पुराण की जय, श्री एकादशी तिथि की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय,
की जय,
समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय,
की जय।
वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव
पसिंधुभ्यः
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो वैष्णवे
Thank
नमो
you.
नमः।
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you
Hare
so much
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.